away a
Rob
mile.
Dom
Oh,
female edition. Woo.
Yeah, right? Rob Dom.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea
All-wheel
what that
drive
means.
RX-7. That thing's pretty cool.
He has no idea what the Rob
I
Dom
don't know what
RX-7
you're
build is.
talking about.
He does.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Bolts and Dolts podcast. That was the name we agreed on, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Bolts and Dolts. All right, so this week is a little bit different. We got a few big news stories we're going to be talking about, and we actually had our first special guest this week. So, Ashley, how about you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Ashley Vaughn. Check out my YouTube channel. I'm currently building an FC RX-7, and I have a 2004 Duramax build going. So come check out the channel.
All right, I'm StormGarage. Some of you guys kind of know me already from the first podcast. We're just gonna keep this going monthly here. I'm building a 91 Mazda Miata currently, just a track/street build, no engine modifications, just suspension stuff, and doing a bunch of other things like unboxings, podcasts like this, auto vlogging, and Race or Nice videos, different things like that.
And of course, I'm Julian Sepulveda. A lot of you guys already know me. I have the YouTube channel Spoilerz, where I make various car content from weird car stories to even my own build for my 1970 Buick Skylark, which, if you guys are interested, I'm getting ready to build a 454 twin turbo big block. So stick around for that at some point. I'm so excited. It's going to sound so good.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, man. If I'm not spitting fire by the end of this build, I didn't do it right. Did I also mention I've never built a motor in my life before, just done, like, top-end stuff?
There you go.
That's going to be a very fun thing to figure out for the first time. All right. So, StormGarage, you mentioned there was something pretty big with Garrett Turbo going on right now. Why don't you fill us in on that?
Yes. So Garrett Turbo currently is filing for Class 11 bankruptcy. So Honeywell used to be Garrett Turbo. They were kind of together as one. And Honeywell I think they left or went out of business 2 years ago. A part of that was Garrett took on all the debt that Honeywell had. And Honeywell had a class action lawsuit against them for asbestos exposure. And so Garrett took on the responsibility of paying all those victims out, and they took on all the debt that was with that. So Garrett was doing, pretty good. Garrett's a big name turbo brand, one of the biggest, makes the best ball bearing turbos. And they just had so much debt on their plate. And with COVID and everything that was going on, they just weren't able to sell enough turbos and sell enough vehicles that had turbos. So they wanted to go ahead and have a different company buy them out to kind of take the debt away so that they could focus on improving the company more. So they filed for bankruptcy, and then the company KPS Capital Partners is buying them already for $2.1 billion. And the announcement of their bankruptcy was just yet here, and hopefully we'll keep having Garrett Turbos, and you can put Garrett Turbos on you. No, we can't. Yeah, I mean, Garrett is like a huge name. The fact that, but it was the first turbocharged vehicle to actually win the Indy 500 ever. So, and that was a Garrett Turbo that was on that vehicle. They put Garrett Turbo's factory in the Chevy Sonic, Volkswagen Golfs. I believe the newer Ford F350s also have Garrett Turbos on them.
I put Garrett's on pretty much everything. I'm not putting one on my Subaru, but yeah.
That's the first time I've heard a Subaru owner say that.
But my RX-7 is getting a Garrett, and my truck's getting a Garrett. So
Chinese turbos, we're gonna get it for sure.
Till you go to try and build 20 pounds of boost, and it blows up into a million.
Oh gosh,
pieces.
no! I'm forcing like 8 through that max. I don't trust those things.
Yeah, you got a big block engine. You can't take boost. The Eclipse I had was sitting at 27 pounds of boost, but that was on a little turbo like that. So.
Oh really?
It still spooled really fast, and that was fun. But obviously, a lot of pressure on a little turbo is much different than 8 psi on a giant turbo. That's pretty much it for Garrett. So it sounds like Garrett still is on the line for surviving here. Not that they're completely falling under, but it's just a big thing for Garrett to have to file for bankruptcy with as big as they are, and especially with all the turbos that they keep coming out with better and better and bigger ball bearing turbos. I know at SEMA, I think they released their biggest, or one of their biggest ball bearing turbos. They had it sitting on a stand, and it was like this, and people were putting their heads next to it and everything. I know they make They make the turbos for those Caterpillar dump trucks that go down in the mines and pick up all the rocks and everything like that and go up and out.
Those are cool.
Garrett makes the turbos for those.
That's wicked cool.
Yeah, so like there's no way, like they're too industrialized. Besides, I mean for the big engines like the Cummins and stuff like that, I believe Holset's a completely different company, right? They make Holset turbos for all those other ones.
Yeah, I believe that's a totally separate company.
Okay.
Well, like I said earlier, Garrett's a household name, and it really shows you the effects that COVID is starting to have on our economy. That such a big brand like this would file for bankruptcy because, like I said before, everyone knows Garrett. Nice hair, man.
That's
But yeah, obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about with turbos too much. What have you guys done with turbos? Like, how do you think this will change your builds in the future? That kind of stuff.
I'm hoping the quality just stays up to par, to be honest with you. They're one of the best turbos you can buy on the market, and I would just hate to see quality go down, and we're going to have to just, settle for eBay turbos, and I don't know. I hope that they're going to just stay how they are,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Well, the good thing is that during bankruptcies, it does to you that for at least for a short period of time, usually the products tend to be a tiny bit cheaper than usual. You know what I mean? They're having
That's
more
true.
sales, more of that kind of stuff. So if any of you guys are thinking about getting a Garrett, now might be the time.
well, everything's going on right now. They're hoping to keep production going fluid. Apparently, the whole deal is getting settled out in 2021. It's not even getting dealt with this year. So apparently, production is supposed to just keep on going as it is right now. I think that's what the article said that I was reading.
Okay,
Yeah, I believe
that's
I read the same thing.
I didn't read the article. Yeah, no,
That's all
I
good. That's what we're here for.
the closest thing I've got to turbo was my plan for my 454 exhaust.
Does your you drew it out on the whiteboard? Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
a good drawing.
Oh, it makes
It
sense.
looks like a robot.
Yeah, it does look like, I was looking at it, I was like, yo, this thing kind of looks like Optimus Prime.
It does.
It's got the red and blue color scheme. Oh, shoot, I accidentally started erasing it. I hate whiteboards.
Oh.
But, yeah, sure. All right, so as many of you guys in the car community know, Nissan it's not an official model, right? It's like
It's
It's
pretty
a
much
prototype?
it's a prototype.
semi-prototype, but it's definitely in production at the same time. It's kind of the weird stage between concept and official release.
Mhm.
And yeah, Nissan is coming out with a 400Z, the direct successor to the 350Z and the 370Z. And it's got a little bit of mixed reviews going about. So, what about you guys? What do you guys think about the 400Z
Love it.
concept
I don't know.
prototype?
I've been seeing on Facebook it's getting a lot of hate from people, but I mean, they're coming out with a manual, so I can't totally bash it because manuals are just becoming rare. There's a lot of manufacturers that aren't offering manuals anymore. It's
Yeah,
sad.
like
It's kind of becoming a dying breed,
yeah, I know for sure. I want to say, doesn't the new C6 Corvette? It doesn't have a manual
Nope.
at all, right? Yeah, it's just the
No.
regular automatic, the paddle shifters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did the new Supra have an auto or a manual, or did it have a manual
Only.
option?
auto only.
I think they're all only.
Auto
yeah.
only?
Oh,
my
auto
gosh, I
only.
didn't realize.
So that's why this 400Z is such a big deal, because people are like complaining about the people who are complaining, because you got people saying, oh, it's so ugly, when in reality it's supposed to pay homage to the original 240Z. It's supposed to be styled just like the 240Z way back, and it has the badging in the same spot, everything set up just like the 240Z, and it's coming with a 6-speed manual, twin turbo V6 putting out 400 horsepower. It's a
That
cool.
is super impressive.
It's set up super good, and Nissan gave us they prioritized and only made the manual transmission first. They're working on the automatic still in case if you want it, but it's gonna mainly come with the manual transmission in it, and it's gonna be a direct competitor. It'll be able to beat out the Supra. If it's got the 400 horsepower, that's more power than the Supra's making for $45,000 for the base model, and people are talking about the Nismo model potentially making even more than 400 horse. They're talking somewhere in the 480 horsepower range for the Nismo edition, which is just awesome. 45 grand's way out of my budget. Will be out of my budget forever and always. But for
That's usually how it goes.
for the price range of like what it is with the Supra, when the Supras first came out, I mean, I think they're like 60,000 now, but when they first came out, they were like 80, 70, 80,000 at the lots because of the markups from dealerships. And this is just a way better option. And people really hate the front grille of the, of the new 400Z. That's what everybody's complaining about. So if you just go ahead and put a little pinstripe or striping in there or something, just change it up. There's going to be tons of body kits, wide bodies, everything for these cars when they come out. So, I don't think it's something to complain about. I think the drivetrain and everything is super awesome coming from the super reliable Infiniti Q60. It's a great setup to put into something that's supposed to pay tribute to the old 240Z. I think it's awesome. I love it.
I mean, hey, they hated on the new body style Miata when it first came out, but now people are putting wide body kits on them. They look really good. I mean,
that's very true. I like Miatas. I don't like all Mazdas. I'm definitely
I don't like all Mazdas, but I did work for them for 5 years, so.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, no way, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're way ahead of the curve in terms of car knowledge than me. I only just started picking up a carburetor like a year ago. But going back to what you guys said about the body, I gotta disagree. I honestly am not a fan of the body at all. Now, you said the people that hate the body, they don't realize that it's paying homage to the original 240Z. But I'm kind of asking myself.
It doesn't really look like a 240Z, though.
Yeah, no, exactly. It doesn't look like a 240Z. In my personal opinion, it looks like they were stuck in limbo between the original 240Z body and the regular 350, 370Z body. And it feels like it doesn't mesh very well to me.
I don't think it looks great. I see both sides, I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy one, to be honest with you. I'm not like in love with it, but I know it's getting a lot of hate, but at the same time, I mean, it does bring a lot to the table for manual drivers.
Right, yeah, that is one thing that I really like about it. The fact that it's coming with a manual transmission. Now, obviously, to me, a manual transmission doesn't matter as much because I'm an automatic guy because mainly I focus on drag racing. And in drag racing, hang on, hear me out. In drag racing, nothing beats an automatic when it comes to quarter mile times.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, it probably makes more sense to have manual for the track, but automatic shifting is just fast, especially with a purpose-built transmission for that. I will give manual transmissions the fact that they have a lot less parasitic loss when it comes to the drivetrain.
Listen, if I wasn't driving a standard every day, I'd probably fall asleep in traffic. So
yeah, same. I mean, I almost
over here, okay?
I'd probably just lost like 200 subscribers from saying that whole spiel right there.
It's all right. We'll get them back.
Oh, fingers crossed.
It's
cross my fingers up first.
Automatics are definitely better for drag racing. Manual is just more fun to drive. You feel more connected to the car. It's really good for actual track racing. Like you said, very little to no parasitic loss between it. And I just don't like the idea of dealing with torque converters. The only thing I'll give to automatic that I liked over automatic versus manual is brake stand burnouts. You can take anything and do nice brake stand burnouts really easily and make your car look cool by doing burnouts. Whereas a manual, if you have no power and you rev it up and dump the clutch, either you'll just kind of squeak it and you might do a little bit of a squeal and burnout, or you'll blow your
clutch,
or you'll destroy your clutch, or you'll blow up your rear end. One of them.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, no, that was my problem. The only thing is a very important part of this, because my engine makes decent power. It's not much at all right now. It's probably 250 max.
What's your quarter mile time? What's your quarter mile?
Oh.
Hang on. Here we go. It's bad. It's really bad. But I also have a thing. Okay, my quarter mile time is 16.9 seconds. All right, there it is. Rip the bandage off.
Ooh.
Which is really bad, especially with a motor that barely makes over 250 horsepower. Plus, it's automatic, so it has a ton of parasitic loss through it. So,
Excuses. Excuses. Oh, what?
That's exactly. I just agreed with you about the manuals.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. Oh man.
What does your RX-7 make, Ashley?
Oh yeah, let's hear about that.
Right now, nothing, because it's just a shell.
I feel that. Everyone's been in that boat.
But my WRX is making almost 350 the wheels. So.
Oh no
that's
way!
my
Seriously.
daily. Yeah, that's my daily.
So how fast?
Manual or you said manual, right?
Yeah, manual. 6 speed.
Sweet.
automatic Subaru. Pff, you might as well just throw it in the junkyard. Oh, yucky.
God, it's not a Forester.
Oh, man.
Or a Lesbo wagon.
Oh gosh, I forgot about those. My sister got herself a Subaru Impreza, and obviously she's not a big car enthusiast. She got an automatic, but her favorite part of getting it was realizing how many stereotypes there are about Subaru owners.
It's
like,
pretty crazy.
Vaping, head gaskets,
Lesbaru, constantly always have a jewel nearby. That's for drivers.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
There was a inside joke among Subaru owners that I came across on like some Reddit message board, and somebody was talking about the head gasket delete.
Oh yeah, I did that to my car. Along with blinker fluid, you gotta always.
Oh yeah, right along with
blinker
fluid. Oh my gosh, yeah.
What do you have in your Subaru, an EJ25 or?
No, it's an FA20. It's a 15, so it's a 2.0.
It's a 2.0. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that forged?
It's the newer redesigned 2.0. Yeah, that came in like the 15 and up.
Okay.
Talking to Matt Miner the other day. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a big tuner around the East Coast, and he had a EJ on his dyno the other day that was trying to push 800, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Jeez.
An EJ.
Stock bottom end? Was it stock bottom end or built up?
I believe it was a stock bottom end, but I would have to
way.
check with him.
A Subaru with a stock bottom end hitting 800 horsepower. Did it come off the dyno?
No, it did not. Not to my knowledge.
it's still on the dyno as we speak.
It didn't get on fire or head gasket yet. So.
That's the weak part for Subarus. You just got to get it and immediately throw some head gaskets, throw some turbos, and you're good. Some of those performance
head gaskets. Up on the head gaskets. You know.
Seriously.
Put them in there.
I heard the transmission or the 5 speeds in the older WRXs are like glass cannons. Like they just explode as soon as you add too much power to them.
Yeah, they can be. The synchros usually tend to go too. I've seen that a lot, but
holier than thou American muscle coming out.
I'm an American muscle gal too, so
sweet, perfect. All right. Another thing that I was really impressed to learn about my all right, so Richard Holdener, do you guys know that name?
I do
not.
Yeah, no, he's basically a big dyno guy on YouTube, really good videos. And what he did is he got a 454 out of a junkyard. You know, granted his was a Gen 6, mine was a Gen 4, but mostly everything was the same. He pulled one out of a junkyard and complete stock bottom end. All he did was change the ring gap. He put some dart heads on it. He put a better, I forgot what intake manifold he put on it. And he put a Holly carb, I'm pretty sure. And he got 2 eBay turbos. The ones are the GT45 clones that are like $163 each. That are surprisingly really robust from what I've heard.
Hey, I've seen them hold up pretty well. So
yeah, no. But he set up a twin turbo, and on the stock bottom end, he made 1,000 horsepower.
That's awesome.
I know. Granted,
I mean, not a lot of cars can do that.
Yeah, no. They really made they were cast iron, yeah. But cast iron in the old days was like, they really put a lot of oomph into them. And granted, I would never want to stand next to a stock bottom end 454 making that kind of horsepower ever. A piston's going to dome me in the side of the head. But, oh man. But it actually inspired my build because if I get those turbos, I feel like I could probably push like 600, 650 horsepower to the wheels without worrying about it. Because the fact that it ran all the way to 1,000 without a sweat, anything, no engine braking, no none of that, then... there's something seriously crazy about those eBay turbos. Some of them are really, really good. I think it was DNA that made them. I don't know. Some Chinese group.
Just make sure to watch the shaft play. That's all you got to do. The one I bought, one worked amazing that me and my friend put on his Miata, but another one straight from the factory had shaft play. So you got to be careful. Some of them. I've heard of some of them lasting 50,000 miles. I've heard of some of them lasting 5 miles, you know. It's getting better and better, you know, as they're able to develop better and better parts for, you know, cheaper and cheaper, but...
Run.
So I don't know if you guys know a lot about rotaries, but I'm building a 3-rotor, and I'm going to have trouble capping it at 650. to the wheels at first so I can get used to the car. It can make up to probably around 2,000 horsepower, but reliability obviously goes out the window.
Yeah, no. Every horsepower takes away
Rob
a mile
Dom
of
female
reliability.
edition. Woo.
Yeah, right? Rob Dom.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea
All-wheel
what that
drive
means.
RX-7. That thing's pretty cool.
He has no idea what the Rob
I
Dom
don't know what you're
RX-7 build
talking about.
He doesn't know the... Oh, so Rob Dom is this YouTuber who built an amazing... He had a 3-rotor in his RX-7 at first, right?
Yeah.
And now he's got a 4-rotor in it, right?
Is that a different build or is it the same build?
Same car. I thought he blew the
Same car?
I thought he blew the 3-rotor up, but I don't remember. But
I haven't. I follow him, but I haven't followed the whole storyline. I've missed bits and pieces of it. So.
And he made it all-wheel drive, right? I think.
Yeah.
So the 3-rotor rotary and all-wheel drive in an FD RX-7. It was insane. It looked so awesome. It was insane. It was.
I'm pretty sure he used like a BMW drivetrain to do that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what he used too. I watched bits and parts of the build as well. It was on in the background, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
It was insane. It was just crazy.
You know, I don't know a ton about the 3-rotors, but I have the only 3. I'm not sure if it 3-rotor or 4-rotor. Mazda back in the 90s, they made a Le Mans car. I think it was powered by a 3-rotor. You guys know what I'm talking about?
It's a 3-rotor. So the 3-rotors came only from the factory. They came in a car called the Cosmo Enos. It was a luxury car from Japan. So I had to order one of like 10 motors that were supposedly left of 3-rotors. They're really hard to find now.
Right.
So I just got one of the last 7 that my buddy knows about. So yeah.
Wow.
How much does a 3-rotor like that go for, especially with there being that little bit
a lot.
More than you're willing to talk about.
Yeah, it's kind of painful to talk about.
Above or under 10 grand?
Below 10 grand.
Okay.
But that's just the motor. That's not like building it, importing it, and
so it's gonna be way over 10 grand by the time you're done.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, with all the fabrication work I have to do, probably, yeah. Because I'm,
your 20 grand motor.
a not stock motor into FC RX-7. It would be easier if I was putting it into an FD, but I just said screw it. I like the FC body style. I've had the car since I was 17, and this is what I wanted to do to it. So I just said, sending it.
You're gonna send that car to space.
Yep.
You hit the hill. You just barely go up a hill slightly too fast. You're just taking off like Team Rocket in Pokemon.
Hell yeah, I'll wheelie it right up the hill.
Have you have you done autocross at all with your car yet before you went ahead?
No, I am dying to. My only concern is that it's my daily. So once I kind of have my truck together, that'll kind of turn into my daily. I'll be rallying and doing autocross with the WRX.
Okay.
But the RX-7 is going to be strictly kind of drift car. That's more what I'm going for.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
And
RX-7's make great drift cars.
Yeah, and I want to have a like a drag car down the road too. I'm thinking something American because I want to bring a little bit of everything into the my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have a
32 coupe.
Yeah, I want to have a like a 325i as a practice drift car, so I'm not beating on the RX-7 too much. That'll kind of be more my show car. Yeah, it's quite yet.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean for sure.
Let's all make it on YouTube and get some money.
Yeah.
No, we'll all go together our own little shop. Let's do it.
We'll open up a shop together. There we go.
Sounds perfect. Great idea. I
We're
got
all
a paint booth we can use.
We'll buy all the Garrett Turbos.
All Garrett Turbos, and we'll single-handedly be the supplier for the whole country.
Yes.
We're literally as far apart from each other as can be. Left
we're
side,
I'm
middle,
on the West
and
Coast.
right.
Because, especially with those old cars, you guys have maybe not worked on, but at least used a carbureted car before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys
I work
know
on road bikes, so.
Yeah, there you go. Those are such a pain in the butt to start up, especially during the winter.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man. When I got an electric choke, that changed everything.
Try during the actual winter when it's like -20 and you have a buddy who wants to start his Cuda in his 1960 Cuda in the garage, or 64 or whatever it was, Cuda in the storage unit. That thing was just Whoa, 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 whoa. Pumping the gas.
That sound real quick.
We had to put a battery charger on it while cranking it to get it to fire over. It was nuts.
When I first got my car, I flooded the engine like multiple times. Turbo.
All right, we're coming up on 45 minutes here.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing that. So we can just talk about whatever now because we hit the main topics. What got you guys into cars?
I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of always been into cars. Like, I was just a weird kid. I like begged my parents for one of those red race car beds, and I was just one of those kind of people. I don't know. My dad had a old air-cooled Porsche 911 when I was a kid, so he would like let me sit on his lap, and so my poor parents. Kind of just was like in my blood.
Car stuff. Woo.
Yeah. My upbringing was kind of similar, like kind of had like the same beginnings as yours. Like I had the blue car bed and all that kind of stuff. And but my dad actually also had a Porsche 911. Before I upload this, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a picture from him of it. But the thing is, I was a third kid, and there was a family of 5, and they didn't really have any room for a 2-door, 2-seater car. So pretty much once they sold the Porsche, which is a real shame because I heard it sounded really good.
Same here. I was heartbroken. My brother was born. They were like, "Oh, we got to get rid of this thing."
Yeah, no, I'm really hoping that when I have kids in the future, I don't have to sell my Buick.
I vowed I will not. I vowed I will.
I have seen people with their Chevelles and they just strapped a car seat in the back. I'm like, that is what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
But as far as cars, I liked Hot Wheels, but it was never big for me. When I turned around 7, I got more into Legos with Bionicle. Bionicle was my stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Bionicles were sick. But
Legend of Metro Nui.
Yeah, man, I was Voya Nui and Mari Nui. That was when I was really into it. That kind of stuff, the underwater stuff. I still know all the names. My friends make jokes about me geeking out all the time. But I really didn't get into cars again until I was like 16. Because I wasn't surrounded by a ton. My dad, he had like a nice car. He had a Mercedes something. I forgot what it was. It was a 4-door. But I really got into it because of A, Hot Wheels, and B, my grandfather and my father. Because my grandfather, he owns a paint shop. And he works on semi-trucks 90% of the time. But he'd occasionally would do like these old classics. And what he did is he actually restored a 1953 Bel Air. And he ended up giving it to me, cherry red, really beautiful. I made a couple of videos about it. And ever since I saw that car, I was pretty much hooked. And I started, when I was thinking about getting my first car, as a joke, my dad brought a 1970 Skylark that his friend was selling. And as soon as I heard the engine rev up to like 5,000 RPM, I was just completely turned on to that car. And 2 years later, I actually bought it for myself. So that's when I got really into it.
Yeah, I had no one to really teach me about cars, so it was kind of difficult to get, from being a kid into cars and then trying to branch out and start working on cars. I bought my RX-7 when I was 17, and then I started fixing it up, and I got offered a job at Mazda, and I got into parts, and they let me hang out in the shop and learn from all the guys, and that's kind of how I learned how to tear motors apart. I started small on dirt bikes, and now I'm building a custom 3-rotor RX-7. So
wow,
just been a process.
I learned everything from YouTube.
Yeah,
and now my first engine's a 454. I jumped the gun just a little bit, but
that's okay. That's how you push yourself. That's how you push yourself. That's how you learn. If you don't take that leap, you're just gonna sit in your comfort zone. So
hopefully I don't blow it. I don't blow the motor. I'm gonna be having
even if you do, it's a learning experience. So you can just rebuild it. That's the beauty of cars. Like they break, you fix them. It's not the end of the world. I've kind of like let go of being scared of breaking things and having things go wrong.
Except for your dailies. Except for your dailies.
Yeah. Don't mess with your dailies. that's one of the things that I've learned.
Then you're screwed. Then your job goes out the window, and you're kind of screwed at that point.
That's why I bought my sister's old Jetta. It's a really garbage. I bought it for like $500 off my.
Are you still doing racer stuff to that?
I wanted to. Okay, so the reason why I didn't do it is because all of a sudden I had a 454 opportunity. I'm like, I was gonna turn this car. I actually already have everything ready for it. I'm going to call it the rice car, right? And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, every month or so, I'm going to let people elect like which terrible parts I'm going to put on it. Like underglow. I'm just stuck between either I'm going to be, at some point, I'm either going to lower it or I'm going to put a lift kit on it. And I don't know which way I'm going to want to go in the future.
Everybody lower it. Yeah,
just do both. Why not do both? YOLO.
My front right wheel is going to be lift kit. My rear left wheel is going to be lift kit. The other one's going to be lowered. So I'm going to be weeble wobbling down the highway. Oh man. What about you, Storm?
Did you guys see the girl who built the she built like a Tesla truck recently?
No.
A Tesla truck?
No, I didn't.
So she took like a Tesla, cut it in half, and welded on a truck bed onto the back. My brother was showing me to me the other day.
I did see her do that.
Yeah, Truckla. Yes. It's called Truckla.
Yes, I did see that.
Oh my gosh, that actually doesn't look horrible.
Yeah,
no, it's like a commercial. She had like
Garrett,
and everything. It's pretty cool.
It looks better than the Cybertruck.
Yeah, it does.
It's supposed to be like a Ute, right? That's what it's? Or
it looks like a Ute, actually.
Yeah, it does look like a Ute, but it's pretty cool.
Man, I can't even imagine having
It's pretty interesting.
I can't even imagine having the budget to chop apart a Tesla without thinking twice about it.
Oh, she definitely thought twice about it. She was like, I have to key the trunk just to break the seal. Like,
yeah. But, Storm, what about you? How did you get into cars exactly? I think I kind of know the basics, but, you know, why don't you fill the group in and Ashley?
I think we touched on it a little bit last podcast, but my dad wasn't like a ton into cars. My dad and all of his brothers were always into fixing our really crappy cars that we had as a family because they kept breaking. So everybody knew how to fix everything we had, and they were always working on things together. Video games and Hot Wheels were probably the main contributors, and Fast and the Furious. The first thing I had that probably started getting me into stuff was Hot Wheels, and then when I had a chance to play video games, it would be Need for Speed, all the Need for Speed games.
Yeah.
And the Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 was probably the one that really did it in for me, playing that game over and over and over again.
The customization that was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And from there on out, I wasn't super into cars. I was more into I was really into computers and PC building and gaming and stuff like that. And then I got my first vehicle. I got a really it wasn't crappy. Sorry, take that back. It was good, but it was a 93 Dodge Dakota, but it was a V6 automatic 2-wheel drive. So like the lowest of the low you could get, but it only had 50,000 miles. It only had 50,000 miles on it. And I just tried modifying it as much as I could and learning what I could on that thing. And I actually just sold it last year. That was the first vehicle I had, and just sold it, got rid of it last year. And then
no way, for real.
From there on out, it just kind of spiraled into the first really crappy car I had was a 95 Mitsubishi Eclipse GS. So slow, so bad. There was no strut. The number one thing with Eclipses you'll learn, the really bad thing with the second gens is the strut towers disappear from rust. And mine had absolutely nothing left in the strut towers. And the guy who sold it to me was like, oh, yeah, it's super easy to fix it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll buy it from you. And I get it. And my friend looks at me like, what did you just buy? And I'm like, is it okay? And he's like, no. We couldn't figure out anywhere. We couldn't figure out anywhere on the car to jack up the car. There was the front subframe was rotted. The side of the car was rotted. There was nowhere you could jack the car up. It was foam everywhere, just spray foam.
Oh my god!
They put it in everywhere. There was no AC, no power steering. There was no fans. The fans didn't work in the car. There was barely a center console. I don't think I had a radio in it. It was $500. I paid $500 for it, and it was
still too much.
The tires were like 9-inch wide tires, so super wide but bald with the wires showing. I bought it that way, and I drove it. I daily drove it for a whole summer with bald.
You're
wires.
lucky you didn't die. Oh my
God. And the brake only one caliper worked on the car.
Oh my god!
So I could brake lightly because where my drive to work was only 10 minutes, and so I would just drive it 10 minutes to work and back. But one time I had to brake really hard and I jammed it and it locked the one wheel up and it took the whole car and just slid it over into the other lane, and I was like this far from just smashing into some nice lady's Mercedes, and I didn't have the car insured at the time. So my life would have been over right there. I would have had to file for bankruptcy at age 18. It would have been really bad. But luckily,
you didn't even at least go to the junkyard and see if there were wheels for you there that you could take. I mean, anything would have been better at that point.
I was really dumb and inexperienced in cars at that point, like super dumb. Like I bought a second gen Eclipse as my first car, rotted out second gen Eclipse.
Yeah.
I was pretty dumb for what I did. After that, I got a '95 Acura Integra, and that was the car that like started really getting me into cars. That car was fun, had two-step, had two-step launch control, would shoot flames, was really reliable, got me around to everywhere. I actually got new wheels for it right away when I got it with brand new tires that were on it. So I actually had something that got me around and I could drive in the rain and not have to worry about dying or going over a bump. All the brakes worked. It was awesome. It was such a step up.
You know, their situation's dire when one of your highlights is all the brakes worked.
Hey, I've been there. I
And
used
it
to
had a
drive around
horn.
on bald tires with cords showing through them because I was just so flat broke. But
Good old days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
yeah,
I remember one time I was driving my car, and you know how like in rear-wheel drive cars, the rear wheels tend to blow out if you hit something slightly wrong on the freeway?
Yeah.
Well, for some reason on my Buick, my front right tire blew out for no reason. I was one of those people that was very meticulous about my air pressure. I was constantly checking, and then one day while I was driving, it just popped off.
So-
Dude,
I still have, like,
my friend 71 Skylark, exactly the same thing that happened to his too. His front right tire just blew up, no reason.
Yeah,
Did
no.
you guys
I
see
wonder
what
if the
happened
car
to me
would have-
going down to Maryland?
What's that?
What was that?
I went down to Maryland for the grand opening of RPM,
Okay.
the shop that's helping me build my RX-7 motor, and we took the Corvette down. And on the way back at like 2:00 in the morning, we hit a bridge abutment, and it blew out two of the tires on the Corvette,
Both
like
the rears?
2016 C7 Corvette, and there was like I'm posting the video that like this upcoming week. I think actually no, it's next Friday. I'm posting the video, but there was like a bubble hanging out of the sidewall. I don't know how we
Oh
made
my
it home.
gosh.
I woke up the next morning, started calling around for a tow, like calling AAA, everybody, and yeah, they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be about $2,000 for a tow." And then on top of that, I would have to pay to rent a car, drive back up there because of COVID. You can't sit in the tow truck with the driver or anything like that. So
Right.
Man.
I was like, you know what? Screw it.
At that
Let's
point, I
just
just
see
hang
how
on to the
far
side of
we
the
make
truck.
it. And we just drove the whole way home.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. You guys have a death wish.
Uh,
Good Lord. Is that all the time we have to?
yeah, I think we'll end on that note of us.
I think that's all the time we
almost
got.
killing ourselves.
We'll end on that note.
All right.
Ashley almost died. All right. You guys want me to do the outro? Do you guys want to do the outro?
Doesn't matter to me.
Go for it.
Yeah, go
All
for
right.
it.
I'll just take care of it. All right, so yeah, that was our second episode of Bolts and Dolts. We really hope you guys all enjoyed. Once again, Ashley Vaughn, really talented YouTuber. Also, go sub to her channel.
Thank
StormGarage, sub to his. He's got the weirdest Miata I've ever seen.
Dang
and
right.
of course, sub to me because I'd really appreciate that.
He makes cool Hot Wheels
But
stuff.
yeah. I don't want to be known as the Hot Wheels YouTuber.
You made your bed, now sleep
When I
in it.
started, yeah, I don't know what happened. I meant to make car videos, and now I make Hot Wheel videos. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.
Bye, guys.